Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Fadhu. My name student ID is 3D32017. Today I will be the presentation of Syntax Project 2. The title of the topic is Deep Structure and Surface. For deep structure, I will be through the explain of the definition, purpose, component, deep versus surface, and Chomsky transformational grammar. And surface structure is definition and main purpose, how surface is formed, what is importance, characteristics, and examples. Deep structure. Definition of deep structure. Deep structure is the underlying abstract representation of sentence that shows its basic meaning and the grammatical relationships between the elements like subject, verb, and object. It is part of the theory in linguistics called the transformational generative grammar developed by Noam Chomsky. The deep structure is what the sentence means at an fundamental level before any change or rearrangements are made to create the actual spoken or written sentence, which is called the surface structure. Importance of deep structure in syntax. It helps linguistics understand how different sentences from relate in meaning, explains why a very different sentence can express the same idea, provides a way to study how language users mentally organize sentences before speaking or writing, essential for computational linguistics and natural language processing to parse meaning. How deep structures works. When we want to express an idea, the brain first creates a deep structure and abstract underlying representation of the sentence. The deep structure that goes through transformational rules. This deep structure captures the essential meaning and grammatical rules. Who is doing what, do, who won't. The next is purpose. 1. Captures the core meaning. The structure represents the basic meaning of a sentence. It shows the fundamental relationships between the part of sentence like subject, verb, object. This helps us understand what a sentence really means, regardless of how it's phrased on the surface. Number 2, explains a sentence variations. Different sentences can have different surface structures, but order, voice, question versus statement but share the same deep structure. This explains how different forms can express the same idea. For example, the dog chased the cat was chased by the dog. Both have the same deep structure. Number 3 is basic of transformations. Deep structure acts as the starting point for applying transformational rules. These transformations change the sentence surface form but preserve its core meaning. It shows how complex sentences can be generated for simple underlying structures. Number 4 helps in language acquisition and processing. The concept of deep structure suggests that humans have an innate ability to understand underlying sentence patterns. It helps explain how children learn language and how adults process complex sentences. 5. Support linguistics theories and application. Used in linguistic theory, like transformational generative grammar to analyze syntax, important for computational linguistics and natural language processing, or NLP, in programming machines to understand human language. The next is component. Number 1 is subject. What is this? The subject is the null phrase or empty, the power prompts, the action or is the topic of the sentence. It usually appears at the beginning of the deep structure and is the door or main focus. For example, the cat. In the cat chased the mouse. She is reading a book. Number 2 is verb. What is this? The verb expresses the action, event, or state. Centered to the predicate, it connects the subject with other components like objects or complements. For example, chase. In the cat chased the mouse. Is reading. She is reading a book. The next is object. What is this? The object is the noun praised that receives the action of the verb, typically in transitive verbs. Shows who or what is affected by the action. For example, the mouse indicates the mouse. A book in she is reading a book. The next is complement. A complement completes the meaning of the verb or subject. It can be an adjective, non-praise, or clause. Provides necessary information to complete the idea. Example, happy in she is happy, adjective complement. A doctor, he became a doctor, non-complement. Number 5 is modifiers. Words or praise that describe or add information to other parts of the sentence. Adjectives, adverbs, add prepositional praise. Add detail, but it's not essential for the core meaning. For example, quickly, in she quickly runs. Adverb modifying verb. Red, in the red apple is sweet. Adjective modifying noun. Okay, this is of the example of deep structure with component. In the sentence, the boy quickly eats an red apple. Okay, the subject is the boy, verb is the eats, and modifier is quickly, adverb modifying eats. Red, adjective modifying apple, and object a red apple. Deep versus surface. And definition, deep structure, the underlying abstract representation of a sentence, core meaning and grammatical relationships, and surface structure, the actual spoken or written form of the sentence after transformations. The function, deep structure, captures the basic semantic rules who does, what, to whom, and core syntax. Surface structure shows how the sentence appears with word order, auxiliary verbs, and other grammatical changes. Level of abstraction for deep structure, more abstract, not directly observable in speech, and surface structure, concrete, what we actually heard or had or read. Concrete, what we actually hear or read. The focus is the deep structure, meaning and grammatical relations, and surface structure, form or structure in real language use. Relation deep structure, starting point for transformations, and surface structure is relation result of transformation applied to deep structure. For example, John is an apple. Basic idea, John is subject, it is verb, and apple is object. And surface structure example is an apple is eaten by John. Passive form, different word order but same meaning. Okay, the next is Chomsky transformational grammar. Universal grammar, Chomsky believes all humans are born with a built-in system called universal grammar, or UG. The system contains the basic rules and structure common to a language. It helps children learn language naturally without needing to be explicitly taught. Example, a child raised in any country can learn any language, English, Japanese, Arabic, and the others is exposed early because the brain is already wired to understand language patterns. The next is language acquisition device. Chomsky introduced the idea of a mental tool in the brain called the language acquisition device. It allows children to learn grammar rules even when they only hear incomplete or incorrect sentence for adults. For example, even if a child hears imperfect grammar like "me want cookie," they will still learn to say "I want a cookie" because the LED or language acquisition device helps them figure out correct grammar over time. The next is transformational generative grammar. This theory explains how humans generate sentences. Sentences are formed from two levels: deep structure, the basic idea or meaning, and surface structure, the final sentence after applying grammar rules. Example, deep structure, John loves Mary. Subject, verb, and object. Transformations. Mary is loved by John. Question, does John love Mary? And negative, John does not love Mary. Okay, the next of the point is surface structure topic. Okay, the surface structure topic is surface structure is a concept for our Noam-Chomsky transformational generative grammar theory. It refers to the final form of a sentence, how it is actually spoken or written after applying synthetic rules and transformations to the basic idea called deep structure. Okay, the theoretical background. Chomsky proposed that every sentence has two main levels of structure. The structure is represents the core semantic meaning, who did what to whom. It size at the mental or abstract level in the brain. Surface structure represents the actual sentence form with specific word order and grammar. This is what we hear, speak, read, or write. Okay, the purpose of structure, surface structure to make abstract meaning communicable. Surface structure turns to deep mental meaning into a spoken or written sentence. It allows us to express our thoughts clearly in a form that others can understand. For example, deep structure abstract idea: eat plus boy plus cake. Surface structure: the boy eats a cake. 2. To show grammatical relationship. Surface structures displays the grammatical form of a sentence. Surface verb, subject, verb, object, order. Tense, a voice, active, passive. Questions, negative, or the orders. Example, active, she wrote a letter. Passive, a letter was written by her. 3. To enable sentence variation and style. Surface structure allows speakers, writers to vary how they express the meaning for emphasis, for style, for clarity or tone. Example, it was the teacher who gave him the book, clear sentence for emphasis. To support language learner and processing, surface structure is what language learners hear and practice. It's what computers and AI tools process in speech and text. It used to analyze grammar, correct errors, and build understanding. The next, how surface structure is formed. In non-Chomsky transformational grammar, the formation of a surface structure begins with a deep structure and proceeds to transformational rules to produce the actual sentence we speak or write. Step 1, the structure core meaning. The district represents the underlying grammatical relationships in a sentence, the skeleton of meaning created by pre-structure rules. Example, the teacher gave a book to students. Subject, the teacher, verb, gave, direct object, a book, and indirect object to student. So, 2. Apply transformational rules. Chomsky introduced transformational rules that take the deep structure and modify it to form different types of sentence. Here are the most common types of transformation with examples. A passive transformation. Move the object to the subject position and adjust the verb form. And deep structure, the teacher gave a book to the student as a first to passive. A book was given to the student by the teacher. The next interrogative question transformation. Move auxiliary verbs to the form. Insert do support if needed. The structure, the teacher gave a book to the student as a surface structure question. The teacher give a book to the student. Chain negotiation transformation. Insert not after the auxiliary verb. Use do support if needed. Again, this structure again. The teacher gave a book to the student as a structure of negative. The teacher did not give a book to the student. With question transformation, replace part of the sentence with a question word: what, who, where, or 5y a w plus 1h, and move it to the form. The structure, the teacher gave a book to the student. Surface structure or which question? What did the teacher give to the student? The next, clef sentence transformation for emphasis. Requires the sentence to focus one element using it was or what. The teacher gave a book to the student for deep structure and surface structure. Cliff, it was that the teacher who gave a book to the student. It was a book that the teacher gave to the student. Step 3, generate to the surface structure. After applying one or more transformation, the final sentence, called the surface structure, is ready for communications. It was we speak, write, hear, or read. Why surface structure is important? Okay, it enables actual communication. Surface structure is the form of the sentence we speak, write, hear, or read. It translates the abstract meaning, deep structure into a concrete, understandable message with the surface structure. Ideas will remain mental concepts and never become communicable language. Example, the structure, the idea, cat plus chase plus mouse. Surface structure, the cat chase the mouse. People understand the idea only because of the surface structure. Okay, the next reflects language-specific grammar. Surface structure show how different language organize words and phrase. It reveals the rules of grammar like word order, tense, negotiation, and question formation. Understanding surface structure helps explain why sentences look different across language even when the meaning is the same. For example, English, she is eating. Spanish, ella está comiendo. Different surface structures same deep meaning. It helps in language learning and teaching. Learners interact with surface structures. They will empathy sentence. Teacher grammar focuses on how to produce correct surface forms from ideas. Understanding surface structure helps learners form questions, negatives, and passive properly. And number 4, it supports interpretation and comprehension. Listeners and readers use surface structures to infer the underlying meaning. They recognize transformations like passive voice or questions to decode all is doing what. This helps is understanding nuance in passage and focus in sentence. It is curricular for language technology. In natural language processing, in LP, AI, and translation, recognizing and generating correct surface structures is vital. Machines must map meaning deep structure to appropriate surface forms in different languages. It enables stylistic and expressive variation. Surface structure allows speakers, writers to express the same idea in multiple ways, varying tone, style, and emphasis. This flexibility enriches communication. Example, the dog beat the man. It was the dog that beat the man. Emphasis, the dog beat the man is question. The next, characteristics. 1. Concurrent and observable. Surface structure is the actual sentence form we hear, read, or write. It consists of specific words arranged in a particular order. Unlike deep structure, surface structure is visible and tangible in communication. Example sentence, the cat chased the mouse. The exact sentence is the surface structure, the form we perceive. Number 2, language specific. Surface structure follow the grammatical rules and word order of a particular language. Different languages have different surface structure even if the underlying meaning is the same. Example, English, she is reading a book. Japanese, kanojo wa hon o yondebiru. Literally, she book she's reading is. Different surface forms, same meaning. 3. Result of transformations. Surface structure is created by applying transformational rules to the deep structure. These transformations can include forming questions, passives, negatives, and more. Example, deep structure is the teacher gives a book. And surface structure, a book was given by the teacher. Okay, the next is variable. A single deep structure can produce many different surface structures. This means one idea can be expressed in multiple sentence form. Example, the boy kicked the ball Was the ball kicked by the boy who kicked the ball? All share the same underlying meaning but differ in surface structure. The next, subject to grammatical rules. Surface structure strictly obeys syntax rules. Word order tense agreement. It must be grammatically correct in the language it's used. Example, correct, she runs fast. That is incorrect, she fast runs. Violates English word order rules. Represents the final stage before expression. Surface structure is the last step before sentence are spoken, written, or otherwise communicated. It refers how a sentence will appear to listeners or readers. Okay, the next of the part 2. The part 2, solve the all problems. Explain this case using the 3 diagrams below. For number 1, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Number 2, the girl who is wearing a red dress is dancing. Number 3, Zivano saw the Yeskila with the telescope. Number 4, she believes that the earth is round. Number 5 is the house where I grew up has been demolished. Oke, untuk nomor satunya, for noun phrase-nya itu ada determinernya, yaitu the, dan adjective phrase-nya itu ada quick dan broad. Dan untuk noun-nya itu ada fox. Dan verb phrase itu kita dibagi dua lagi, dan itu ada verb, verb-nya itu jumps, dan prepositional phrase itu dibagi dua, itu ada proportional, yaitu proportionalnya itu adalah over, dan noun phrase itu dibagi tiga lagi, ada determiner yaitu the, dan adjective itu ada lazy, dan noun itu ada dog. Oke, for number 2. Jadi ada tiga, kita dibagi tiga, ada noun phrase, ada phrase, ada CP, ada verb phrase. Determiner itu kayaknya kayak ada the, dan nounnya itu ada girl. Oke, CP ini alias yaitu adjective clause, dan ada clause-nya itu ada who, dan verb place itu ada dibagi dua lagi, yaitu ada verb dan noun phrase. Dan verb itu yaitu is wearing. Noun phrase lalu dibagi tiga lagi, yaitu ada determiner yaitu a, adjective itu adanya red, dan noun itu ada dress. Dan verb phrase yaitu is dancing. The next ada ada noun phrase dan verb phrase dibagi dua lagi, yaitu noun phrase-nya itu Zevano sebagai noun-nya, dan verb phrase dibagi tiga lagi, yaitu ada verb, noun phrase, dan proportional phrase. Untuk verb-nya yaitu ada saw, dan noun phrase-nya itu ada determiner itu yaitu the, dan noun-nya itu ada yes, Kila. Terus proportional phrase itu dibagi dua lagi, ada proportional itu adalah with. Dan noun phrase itu ada the telescope. Dan the telescope ini kita dibagi dua lagi untuk noun phrase-nya, yaitu noun dan determiner. Noun sebagai telescope dan determiner itu sebagai the. Oke, untuk nomor 4-nya itu dibagi dua lagi. Yang untuk soalan she believes that the earth is round. Dan untuk noun phrase-nya itu ada noun sebagai she, dan verb phrase dibagi dua lagi, verb sebagai clause phrase. Dan untuk verbnya itu ada beliefs. Dan clause phrase itu dibagi tiga. Ada clause itu that, dan noun phrase dibagi dua, yaitu determiner dan noun. Determiner itu sebagai the, dan noun itu sebagai earth. Dan verb phrase, yaitu ada verb sebagai is, dan adjective sebagai round. The next is number 5. Jadi untuk soalan nomor 5 ini kita dibagi tiga, noun phrase, clause phrase, dan verb phrase. Noun phrase kita dibagi dua, yaitu determiner and noun. Determiner is the, yaitu determinernya itu adalah the, dan noun sebagai house, dan clause phrase yaitu clause-nya itu were. Dan noun phrase yaitu adalah I, dan verb phrase yaitu grow up. Dan untuk verb phrase itu ada verb has been demolished. Okay, guys. Thank you for our presentation of syntax project 2. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.